Maybe you use it already today. Maybe it was in your salad or you use it to cook olive oil. It's one of those things that we use almost every day. But maybe like me, you also wondered recently, why are the prices been skyrocketing in the last year? In Denmark, some of it in the supermarket, the prices almost doubled. But what if I told you that those rising prices for olive oil, they're only the tip of an iceberg we often don't see in our daily life. And it's actually a warning sign for a potential future that we tend to forget. And this is more than just a pricing problem. It signals a fundamental shift in how climate change disrupts our entire food supply chain. So what happened? In short, this crisis emerged from a perfect storm of climate-driven challenges. Unprecedented heat waves have damaged critical flowering periods, while extended droughts have left even mature trees struggling to survive. And while we might be able to afford the price hikes of olive oil or simply replace it with something else, ask yourself, what happens if climate change starts to affect the most stable foods, corn, rice, wheat, that billions depend on for survival? And what happens when those effects hit communities without Denmark's wells and social safety nets? In sub-Saharan Africa, 96% of agriculture relies completely on rainfall. There are no irrigation systems or technology buffers when the clouds don't appear.
Sitairima kumusha saka madomasi nemuriwo ataisha. Sataingodya mvura muriwo nemvura nosoti. Ndomararamira takaita kumusha tisha sometimes toshaya chibage chekunogaiza. Tairima but chokuisa chacho matarima like fertilizer. Ataiwana fertilizer yekutisa patarima pacho. Tairima but hapana kwataenda but nenyaya kuti tairima nemapadza bosi tasina mombe. So tainyanyorima anga ari mavheji iwayo bosi aido fertilizer shoma taikwanisa kuwano mavheji nematomatoes ndo zvataikwanisa kurima by that time.
So when we look at climate models, we see a frightening future. Rising temperatures across sub-Saharan Africa, more extreme heat events, rainfall patterns that become dangerously erratic. In Zimbabwe, farmers aren't just worrying about smaller harvests anymore. They're experiencing complete failures. And as farming becomes less viable, this agricultural breakdown triggers a massive social shift. Young people, especially, are abandoning the rural areas. They're heading to the cities like Harare, Nairobi, Kampala in search for alternative ways to make a living. But why does food insecurity exist even in cities? And I also wondered, how is it different from what someone like Peter experienced in the rural areas? What I learned was this. For families living in informal settlements, nearly everything must be purchased with cash. Food consumes up to 70% of household budgets, leaving precious little for other necessities. So when climate shocks trigger price hikes, those urban families hit a breaking point. Rent must be paid, school fees come due, someone falls ill. In these moments, food becomes a flexible expense families cut back on to survive another day. So while I might be able to absorb the rising cost of some of the food items in our supermarkets, for a family living under these circumstances, it becomes an existential threat. And like that, what pushed many from their rural homes to the big cities in hope for a safer and more prosperous life hunts them now also in the cities. Food insecurity is rising, with climate change escalating, and the single denominator for who is affected the most is poverty. So I was wondering, as you might also do at this point, what can we do about it? And while there is no easy answer, The good news is that people are taking action, aware of the reality, trying to adjust. To learn more, I visited 2 places where the change is happening today inside of the communities. The first step that many take is urban microfarms. An urban microfarm could be anything. Sometimes it's just some plants on the roof, or like some unused space along a house. Maybe you have a small plot of land where you can plant something. In Kampala, I learned some of the techniques that are both innovative and resourceful and really designed to make the most out of the limited space.
And now this is our sack garden. For it, it's very simple. You get a sack, you put soil there, you put some holes, so long the soil cannot pack. Then you plant whatever you want, like the dodos, green amarthas, red amarthas, and it's easier for crops that are growing, moving up, like the sukumas and the spinach. Now this is our 4th type of planter. It's called the vertical tire planter, whereby we get tires that are used, then we cut the top of it, then down we put some shade net for holding the soil, then up we place our soil with manure.
Some, like Abdallah for instance, even try to find bigger plots of lands that are unused and turning those into urban farms that offer them an income beyond their personal needs.
All along I've been trying out farming, but it has been just for domestic. Maybe you plant something, you eat, but I didn't know that on a smaller scale you can do farming and still have something to sell as well as something to eat. When time for harvesting comes, I can sell. When I need something to eat, I can sell. And in most cases, what I sell from the garden, actually that money, it's basically I prefer putting it into my tuition or my education to support me.
And in Kenya, at Comp Green Solutions, they used the former dump site that they transformed into a community park, also as an urban farm, that allows them to give to the most vulnerable in the communities.
We have the urbanite farming, and now we have the greenhouse. Now we want to learn the other way of planting the good vegetables without using the soil, using the hydroponic system. And we have the kids playing zone. We also have the feeding program, which we also do in each and every Saturday. For the urban farming, we use them to sell a little so that people can earn something little, maybe to buy oil in their house, and also to sustain the feeding program for the kids, because they will not just keep on eating greens. No, we just want to something nutritional. We have a team which is working each and every Saturday to go and identify the places that they're replicating what we are doing here. And if we have something that is coming on board on Comp Green, we also inform them.
It is obvious that this crisis doesn't stop here. The window into the future that olive oil offered us at the beginning, in many informal settlements, is already part of the present. But it also shows how climate change is a shared vulnerability. Our solutions look different across communities. Throughout urban slums, climate-smart agriculture is woven directly into daily life, not as an abstract policy, but as a form of survival. So next time you pick olive oil in your kitchen, think about it as a reminder that our meals connect us all to this often overlooked global story. But also a reminder that we're not just connected in a crisis, we're also connected in how we rewrite our future together.